Hey everyone, my name is Amber.
I'm Charisse.
And we're back in another reaction video. Today we're doing Sabaton Night Witches.
Yep, and this was a Patreon request from Basil, so thank you, Basil.
Thank you, Basil. This was actually originally on the list for when I had chosen out, but thank you, Basil. We got to do it sooner.
Yeah, I had the shorter version on my list too.
Yeah, so. I'd actually seen a post about Night Witches on Facebook, and I found out that Sabaton had a song about them, so that's why I was interested about it. So let's get to it.
The Germans are resting behind the lines of the Eastern Front, their tents in neat rows. All is in order in the quiet and still of the night. It's cold, and the winter snow crunches under the jackboot of a guard. Looking up into the sky, the snow starts to drift down. It's peaceful here. Was that a noise from the sky? No, it's just the wind. Suddenly, piercing the still of the night, there's an otherworldly scream and a whoosh as a dark form speeds by. And was that a woman's laughter in the distance? There are no engine sounds, and the suddenly fearful German soldier loses his footing and whispers under his breath, "Die Nachthexen." The world is all at once a bloom of fire and ash, and two more dark forms pass without a sound. Hearing the whooping and celebration of these supernatural creatures, the guard shakes himself from his fear and calls out, "Die Nachthexen! Die Nachthexen! The Night Witches!" In the sky, above, 3 planes of the soon-to-be famous 588th Night Bomber Regiment, their engines now running, turn east for home. Time to rearm and refuel for another mission. Coming into land, they're greeted by their commissar, Yevdokia Rashkevich. The young girls that form the pilots and navigators are between the ages of 17 and 26. They are desperate to take the fight to the Germans and have traveled from all over Russia to join the all-women regiments. The 588th is where the least skilled of all the women are placed, but that didn't stop them from carving their name in history. In the early days, they were largely ridiculed by the Soviet men. Given men's uniforms that were too big and shoes all of the same size, the women did the best they could with the clothes, making them fit with belts or filling the large men's shoes with stuffing. The equipment they were given was woefully out of date. The Polikarpov PO2 was a 2-man trainer, underpowered and made of cloth and wood. These old string bags were nicknamed crop dusters, or even worse, sewing machines due to the noise their tiny engines made. But the women of the 588 ignored the taunts, and despite the odds, turned the plane's shortcomings to their advantage. The planes at maximum speeds were far below the stall speeds of any of the German fighters. Giving them a tight turning circle, they were almost impossible to hit. They were susceptible to small arms fire and anti-aircraft guns, so their strategy was to attack in threes, with a navigator in each plane. At her signal, the pilot would cut the engines and swoop in slowly, silently, dropping their bombs, dealing death from above. Unexpected, undetected, stealth perfected. If necessary, the other 2 would draw fire from the fighters or from the ground. They slept during the day and rose at dusk to take their vengeance on the invaders. This unnatural bravery and their stealth tactics earned them their title, the Night Witches. The German ace Johannes Steinhoff said, "We simply couldn't grasp that the Soviet airmen that caused us the greatest trouble were in fact women. These women feared nothing."
I'm guessing that's the beginning of the song.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're about to get into the song now. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear like a background story.
Like I knew a little bit, but it was just a meme. So finding it, like a lot of that I kind of knew, like that they stalled their engines so they'd be quiet. I didn't know like they were like woefully under, given old stuff and everything. Yeah. So that was really interesting. I'm glad that, yes, this is the longer version, but the backstory is nice to know a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's always nice to know more about like the history.
That's crazy. This history we never learn about.
Yeah, that's true. We don't.
There's so much in history that from like women and people of color that just gets glossed over.
Yeah.
Sadly. So stuff like this is nice to hear.
Yeah, it is really good to know.
So let's get back to this.
planes are going strong. That was number one. Some were down below, they're looking for the foe. Bombers on the run. You can hide, you can move, just to fight that attack's been bruised. In the dark, silent through the night, the witches on the fight. Never miss the mark. Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment 388. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected. Also losing ground, retreat into the sound. Get this in the air. Suddenly appears confirming all of this. Strike from witches there. Target bound from around, battle sound from the battleground. Saving high. Lodging awaits to beat them at the gates. Live to fight and fly. Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night Bomber Regiment 388. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected. Beneath the starlight of the heavens, unlikely heroes in the sky, as they appear on the horizon, the wind will whisper when the night witches come. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Aviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected. From the depths of hell is silence, faster smells, explosive violence. Russian nighttime fight, perfected. Flawless vision, undetected.
32 women, both pilots and navigators, never came home. The 588th became highly decorated and respected, flying more than 23,000 sorties, dropping over 3,000 tons of bombs. 23 night witches were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, although they were disbanded just 6 months after the war and not allowed to fly in the victory parade, given their planes were so slow. From 1956, after she retired from active service, their commissar Yevdokia Rashkevich took it upon herself to find the site of every single one of her girls that was downed, to mark the place and to pay her respects to each one of the incredibly brave night witches.
That's sad.
But I mean, like at the same time, that's like wow, that's dedication to your people.
It is dedication, but I'd say it's sad that it's
Yeah, but I don't know how World War II is taught in other countries. At least in the United States, we're pretty much taught that like America won World War II and we were instrumental. But if anything, it was more the Soviets that were really instrumental in pushing back the Nazis and winning the war because they beat us to Berlin.
that's
So,
true. That's
yeah, the song was really good.
Yeah, I really like the song. Yeah, great guitar solo.
Yeah.
It was really good. Like,
If anything, I kind of want the song, like the music itself. Like I loved the whole thing, but I wish the music was just a little bit longer. Like I feel like I want more from this song because it was good.
yeah, because I remember we were looking at the videos and the song itself's only what, like 3.5 minutes or something.
Something like that.
Like, I feel like the song itself could have been a little, like, I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
308.
308. Yeah, so I do like. So yeah, I definitely feel like there could have been more there music. But yeah, the history, of course, is interesting.
I've always been kind of a history nerd. Like growing up, I'd like as I was playing like World of Warcraft or something, I'd have like the History Channel on, and I always thought history was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely is interesting. Yeah, and this was really good. Great singer, and just let's just a lot of history in this one, and I just enjoyed the video itself, so I'm going to give this an 8.8.
I think I'll give the song an 8.8, but the whole thing as a whole, like, a 9. Because I liked the animation. Like, obviously there was a whole lot of detail to the people because of the style, but it was still really good, and I really liked it. So.
Yeah, it was really good.
And I really appreciate all the history, so. Please check out links in the description for the original video and all of our social media.
And remember, we have a PayPal and a Patreon if you want to get your requested ahead of the line. Once we get your donation, we will film within that week. And like, if we have any issues or delays, we will contact you.
Until next time, bye!
Bye!